So let's talk about something that might be keeping you up at night if you're in the self-storage game. You know that feeling, right? The phone just seems a little too quiet, and maybe there aren't as many people walking through the door. It's easy to blame the market, but what if the real problem is a lot closer to home? What if your business has sprung a slow leak, and you don't even know it?
Does this sound familiar? You're looking at the numbers, and they're just kind of soft. It's not a big crash, but it's a slow, steady drip downwards. Well, you're not going crazy, and you're definitely not alone. This is something operators are seeing all over the place.
And to put a number on it, some operators are seeing an average drop in inquiries of 22% compared to last year. That is a huge chunk of potential business just poof, vanishing into thin air. So where is it all going? And, more importantly, what can we actually do about it?
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to name the enemy, the silent slump. Then we'll figure out what's really going on with what I call your leaky sales bucket. After that, we'll get into two super powerful fixes, the follow-up formula and tuning up your digital front door. And we'll wrap it all up with a really important mindset shift, embracing the 1% change.
Okay, first up, the silent slump. The big thing to get here is that this isn't just your problem. That 22% drop, that proves it's an industry-wide headwind we're all facing. But, blaming the market is the easy way out. The best operators, they look in the mirror. Which leads us right to Section 2, your leaky sales bucket. This is where we get to the absolute heart of the problem. See, the issue isn't just that fewer people are calling, it's what happens when they do call. This quote from an industry pro who secret shopped a facility, man, it just says everything. And this is happening everywhere. Someone calls, asks a question, and then nothing. No real conversation, no attempt to build rapport. And asking for a name or a number to follow up? Forget about it. The customer is basically a ghost the second they hang up. Just think about that for a second. Every single call, every person who walks in, that's a warm lead. They've done the hard part by reaching out to you. The failure here isn't a lack of interest from customers. It's a breakdown in the most fundamental step of sales, actually capturing their info so you can talk to them again. And that breakdown? Oh, it has a very real cost. Let's do some quick math. Say your average 10 by 10 unit goes for about $125 a month. If a customer stays for, let's say, 10 months, well, that single lead you just let slip away was worth $1,200 in revenue. You literally just let $1,200 walk right out the door. So I have to ask you, and be honest, when was the last time you called your own store pretending to be a customer or had a friend do it for you? I'm telling you, what you find might actually shock you. Are your managers getting a name and a number every single time? No exceptions? If not, your bucket is leaking, my friend.
Okay, so we've identified the leak. How do we patch it? Well, it all starts with the follow-up formula. And don't worry, this isn't about some complicated new software. It's about simple, old-fashioned, powerful discipline.
So, why is follow-up such a big deal? Just look at these crazy numbers. Almost half, 48%, of salespeople never follow up, not even once. And yet, an absolutely staggering 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact. You see that huge gap between what people are doing and what actually works? That's your golden opportunity right there.
And the easiest way to start closing that gap is with this one simple trick, the thank you call. It's exactly what it sounds like. The very next morning after someone calls, you call them back. You're not trying to hard sell them. You're just saying, hey, thanks for calling yesterday. I remember we talked about a 10 by 10 for your son's college stuff. When would be a good time for you to pop by and see it? That's it.
Now, let that sink in for a minute. Some of the top people in this business believe this one simple follow-up call is more important than the original conversation. Why? Because you instantly stand out. You're probably the only facility that bothered to call them back. You're showing them you actually listened and that you care. That's huge.
All right, so that's fix number 1. Fix number 2 has to do with what I call your digital front door. This is all about meeting customers where they already are. And, spoiler alert, it's probably not your website, at least not at first.
Look, your website is super important, don't get me wrong, but your Google Business Profile, or your GPP, that's your real digital storefront. Think about it. Over half, 58% of your local traffic starts right there. People type storage near me into Google, and your GPP listing is the very first thing they see. It is their first impression of your entire business.
And the best part? Tuning this thing up is completely 100% free. You can do all this today. Go add your units as products so people can see sizes and prices right there. Please make sure your Book Now button actually works. Turn on the messaging feature so people can chat with you directly. These aren't big projects. They're tiny tweaks that can totally transform the number of leads you get.
Okay, finally, let's talk about the mindset that pulls all of this together. It all comes down to embracing the idea of the 1% change. How many times have you heard this one? Or, be honest, even thought it yourself? Yeah, that's just the way we've always done it. That phrase is an absolute killer of growth and progress. The market is changing. How customers shop is changing. And relying on what worked 5 years ago is a surefire recipe for a slow, painful decline. You've got to be willing to adapt.
And listen, change can be scary. I get it. But you get to choose how you look at that fear. You can let it mean forget everything and run. Or you can decide it means face everything and rise. Which one do you want to be? I know which one I'm choosing.
And this right here is the real secret. You don't have to burn your business to the ground and start over. Just focus on getting 1% better. Just make one thank you call today. Just fix that one broken link on your Google profile. These tiny little improvements, they compound over time into massive, game-changing results. So, let's end on that question. After hearing all this, what is the one small, simple 1% improvement that you are going to make in your business today?